Hello, welcome to episode 107, part 2. I'm Kaigan, and I would like to discuss my write-up entitled Protecting the Rights of Transgender Persons, Children and All Children. There's a sense of ownership when a baby is born. This is the direct result of the mind's possessive nature. Nobody owns another being. Each one of us owns nothing but our individual spirit, soul, unseen life force, essence, and the body that we inhabit. Earth gifted each of us a body that is ours to experience and learn, whether or not our spirit essence will be welcomed back to continue the journey to true peace and harmony. We do not own the land or the beings. Until we learn this en masse, there is work to do. Every child deserves the right to create what they wish to become, as long as it doesn't cause harm to fellow beings. Children who feel that their bodies do not match their mental gender should be supported and recognized by others, especially by family members who are supposed to love and protect them. They should not be ashamed of who they are or have to question what they know in their hearts. There are so many misconceptions about transgender children. Some assume that they do the surgical correction when they are children. This is not true, and anyone who would do that would be committing a wrongdoing. Agent Orange signed his name not allowing people who are 18 and under to have this surgery. Nobody under 18 is having this done, and 18 is the age of legal consent as an adult when they are free to choose this surgery. He does not have the right to come between a doctor and a patient. He claims ownership over the body of another by attempting to do this, which is a blatant transgression against natural law. Just because he wrote his name on a dead tree doesn't mean it's legitimate. This human disgrace and his cronies are trying to take away transgender child support. Some hospitals are caving, but some doctors are standing up and continuing to provide trans care no matter what. Children have the right to counseling, support, and hormone blockers if they feel that they are trans. For those who may not know, there are hormone blockers that children can take after counseling and establishment that this is something that they have decided that they want to do. This takes place around the age of secondary sex characteristic development. Hormone therapy is also reversible if they change their minds. To deny them this treatment is cruel and causes the need for more surgery in the future to create an acceptable, society is acceptable, but everybody's acceptable and beautiful no matter what, appearance of the gender that is trapped in the wrong vessel. Nobody should have to prove themselves to anyone or carry a document stating their gender at birth. And we were also listening to the Humanist Report, and they were saying about how trans people, even when they are willing to comply with this draconian law, which they never should, never back down, never ever let anybody tell you who you are. You know who you are in your heart. But even they were willing to put their birth gender on their passport, and they were still getting rejected, which is absolutely disgraceful, and they should be able to travel wherever they want, whenever they want. They're not criminals. They did nothing wrong. And yet we have a war criminal who's welcome here, a known war criminal by the ICC, Netanyahu can come here and go as he pleases, but somebody that's trans is restricted because even if for hatred, because they're even willing to comply with the draconian rule of having to provide their birth gender, which is nobody's business. It's absolutely disgraceful. That's like confirmation that they're being targeted. Now, what about someone who is born with both parts? Society is so obsessed with physical gender characteristics that people who are born with indistinguishable parts have been. We watched some shows about this, and we had a long time ago. It always sat with us and upset us a lot because, and people are like, oh, it might be a rare instance, but it's a human being. So society is so obsessed with physical gender characteristics that people who are born with indistinguishable parts have been operated on before they have the ability to decide what they choose to identify as. Their lives were affected because someone else decided on their own idea of a correct genital appearance. If someone is born that way, leave them alone, unless it is a surgical emergency that will result in suffering or death if untreated. Don't just operate on them to please others or to have some kind of visual, acceptable, whatever you want to call it. It's their body. Let them decide when they are consciously able to and have consent. Why are the morally corrupt so obsessed with being absolutely correct to their standards and thinking that they have special privileges to know everyone's birth gender? They refer to gender assignment surgery as genital mutilation. And like I mentioned before, it is not performed until the individual reaches the age of 18. And it is their body. It does not belong to those who oppose their personal choice. If you want to talk about genital mutilation, let's discuss circumcision. First of all, circumcision is a non-consensual assault committed against the body of another. This is torture against a child who cannot defend himself. And it happens with women too, but not here like it does. It's not, of course, that's something that was dealt with, but wherever that is, if a female, male, female, I don't care, leave it alone. But usually, with here, it's male, and it's always acceptable. But why? This is torture against a child who cannot defend himself, and some sick and twisted, adrenochrome-addicted, Draco-reptilian perverts actually lick the blood off. Why are they not in prison? Why are they not in prison, and why are they allowed to continue this satanic ritual? I will never understand. I don't want to hear about religious or medical justification for circumcision. Not your body, not your decision. I'm not trying to shame or guilt trip anyone who has had this done to the child, because I know many were coerced. But really, if you think about it, it's their body. I'm trying to raise awareness about this barbarism that should never be accepted. As long as the tyrants are going to flap their lips on genital mutilation against children that isn't happening, we might as well start discussing and stopping the one that actually is and continues to be done. On top of that, we just found out doctors stuffed their pockets with as much as $500 to commit this barbaric procedure. This torture is not without risks. Besides subconscious mental anguish and trust issues, there are horrible risks that can affect an innocent patient for the rest of his life. There have been incidences of botched circumcisions, where too much was cut, or complete accidental amputation. In one documentary, an infant that happened to was involuntarily gender reassigned and raised as a girl. She led a very confused life, thinking she was a lesbian, and if she was, that's fine, but they chose this, and she did not know. And it was a story where they said they stayed together, which was really great, as good friends and partners or whatever they wanted to be is fine. But to do that to somebody is absolutely horrific. Another child was born with both genitals, and the doctor decided to assign the individual as a female, removing a testicle and taking away that child's right to decide what they chose to identify as when they were old enough, as well as a chance to become a biological parent. Respect the body as it is. As long as it's not life-threatening or causing them to suffer in the present moment, leave it alone. Let a child create what they wish to become as long as they're not hurting anyone. And when I say hurting, I mean treating others poorly, bullying, things like that. Not hurting someone's feelings because they disagree with their personal choice. If you make them feel that way, you are hurting them. Be kind and respectfully and love them. And also, don't exploit their situation. So that's what I had to share for today. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope this is helpful. I hope this has helped people to understand and empower them to protect all children. All children. and love them no matter what, no matter how they're born. Don't try to cosmetically improve them to your liking. You have ridiculous things like now they have something trying to come out where you can design your own baby, which is horrific. So, children deserve to be loved and protected and defended. So, thank you for listening, and I will see you on the next one.